Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by a stand-up comedian and television writer and producer. You might have seen him on Howard Stern, Chelsea Lately, among many other places. His latest film is The Road Dog. We welcome the cable ace, Emmy Award winning and Distinguished Alumni Award winner from Boston University, Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm good. I'm in Venice Beach, California, and I'm in a bathrobe. I have half a cup of coffee left, and I'm ready to go.
Greg, let's go beyond the mic. In the trailer for The Road Dog, it says, quote, "Comedy is pain," unquote. How have you taken your darkest moments and made people laugh?
Oh, that's a good question. It's funny. I live about 25 minutes from the comedy clubs in Hollywood. And at night, I drive in and I have depression. I've grown up with depression. It runs in the family. It doesn't run in the family. It walks very slowly in the family. And so I drive in, and there's nights where it's so dark that I go, how can I possibly get on stage tonight and be funny? And that is when I know I'm going to have the best set of the month. That is when I go on and I soak it in. It's like an intravenous feed of good feelings. And I drive home and the depression is gone. It is like, it's the greatest remedy. So I look at it more of what I'm getting from them. And I think conversely, they're getting my best shows, but I'm also getting a complete makeover of my mood.
You've acted, produced, written, and either disappointed or made your parents proud. Why is observational humor cutting and sometimes needed in society right now?
Well, I mean, observational is kind of like I think of the 80s and 90s when I think of observational comedy, like Jerry Seinfeld and, Paul Reiser. I think today people want to hear more of a monologue. They want to hear about you. They don't want to hear about that rubber stick that you put between your groceries when you're checking out. They want to hear about like me. I've just talked about my depression. Like I think there's something a little bit more vulnerable and autobiographical about comedy today. When I think of observational, I think of as escapism. And I think now people, not that you want to walk on stage and talk about Israel, but people do want, you do need to sound relevant to some extent.
Greg, in a world of darkness, how easy is it for you finding the light within comedy?
Well, it depends on the room, to be perfectly honest. Like, you can't always do the same routine. Like if I am in Lubbock, Texas, I'm certainly not going to lead with the fact that I'm a liberal. But when I do, I say I'm a liberal, but I'm not a wussy about it. And so, whereas if I'm in Los Angeles, I think you can talk more about who you are. But it's always an adjustment. Every room is different, and I'm taping a new 1-hour special in Austin, and
Greg Fitzsimmons from The Road Dog joined us for the Rocky Nate. All this is, Greg, is 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure.
Is there a wrong answer?
I've never been one. Best place on the BU campus?
Oh, I would say T. Anthony's, which was it's this pizza place where they make a cheesesteak that rivals anything in Philadelphia. And when you go in there, the hockey players get free food because the owner of the restaurant, Anthony, loves hockey players. And so because the hockey players are there, every hot chick at BU piles into T. Anthony's to get a glimpse of them. And then we come in like feeder fish and we wait and try to pick one off.
One person you were blessed to have worked with?
Kevin Meaney is absolutely the funniest comedian I've ever worked with in my life. And I'm proud to say he was a mentor when I started. And I've never seen anybody destroy a room the way he did and be then twice as funny off stage. And he passed about 7 years ago, and I think about him every day. And still watch him online all the time.
Greg, what's the type of humor that makes you laugh?
I like it when somebody is unlikable and then they make you laugh. Like somebody like Dave Attell, who comes out and he's just dressed like a homeless person. He's got a cup of coffee in his hand at 1:00 in the morning on stage, and he is just miserable. And then somehow you go, oh, what's this? And then you're dying of laughter. I don't like somebody coming at me like a salesperson. I like them drawing me into them.
How about your favorite drink?
I like Budweiser NA because I quit drinking. And I always say like I have an ad campaign for Budweiser NA. Hey, want to have a blast tonight? Nah.
Where is the best place to do a comedy set?
Best place? I like the Comedy Store in LA. There's 3 rooms. You can bounce around and do 3 shows in one night without leaving the building.
Greg, what's the one thing your son and daughter always wanted you to do?
I think get off the road. I think they would have liked Daddy to be home. Like I always pictured my son going to bed as a little kid and being like, Mommy, where's Daddy? And she's like, Daddy's at the Green Bay Chuckle Hut following his dream. Well, doesn't he know it's not working out?
I know that. Best score on the golf course for 18 holes, and have you ever had a hole-in-one?
78, which was on a very difficult course in New York called Knollwood. And I, for some illogical, it's mathematically impossible that I have not had a hole-in-one. I have hit every part of the green except the hole for 50 years.
I haven't either. What's the person you want to do an episode of Fitzdog Radio with, but haven't yet?
Mel Brooks.
It's time for One Big Question with Greg Fitzsimmons. His film is The Road Dog, and he joins us beyond the mic. As you examine comedy and life in The Road Dog, what's the one thing you have no regrets about?
That I struck a balance, that I gave up pushing myself to get to the top of show business in order to be around and raise a family and have good friends and have mental health. I don't regret that because sometimes I can get jealous of where I see comics playing arenas now. And I'm like, well, I'm funnier than that guy. But I realize I'm funnier than him, but I chose a different path.
Let's sneak in one more. Why should people watch The Road Dog?
I think The Road Dog is, it's a story about, you see nothing but ashes, and then you find an ember in the ashes, and you see that come back to life, and you see the hope of the human spirit.
He misses Kevin Meaney, loves the cheesesteaks at T. Anthony's, and wants you to watch The Road Dog on demand. Greg Fitzsimmons, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
What a great interview. Thank you for the question.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.